Think about the last time you opened up an app just to, check in for 5 minutes, and then suddenly a whole hour is just completely gone. Poof, right? Well, I'm here to tell you it was actually not because you lack willpower. It's because you just walked into a digital casino. These platforms are literally using the exact same psychological warfare tactics used in Las Vegas to keep billionaires gambling until their pockets are totally empty. Over the next few minutes of this explainer, we're going to dive deep into these psychological mind games hiding right in plain sight. And more importantly, we'll see how you can break free before they totally rewire your brain.
Okay, let's dive into this with a pretty stark reality check. You're not just scrolling, you are being hunted. Social media apps, they weren't actually built to help you connect with your friends. No, they were meticulously engineered to exploit your deepest psychological flaws. And honestly, the most fascinating and kind of terrifying part of this whole shebang is that they make you feel like you're the one in the driver's seat.
Moving right along to our first section, the casino in your pocket. To really wrap our heads around this, we gotta shift our perspective a bit. We need to stop looking at you as a simple user and start looking at you as a gambler. A gambler in a digital casino where your attention is the ultimate currency. Think about this for a second. Why do we swipe down on our screens to load new posts? I mean, really think about the mechanics of that. Why not just tap a static little button at the top to refresh the feed? It seems like a super harmless design choice, right? But actually, scratch that. It's easily one of the most brilliant and highly addictive features ever invented.
So the secret sauce here is something called intermittent variable rewards. The physical act of swiping down perfectly mimics pulling the lever on a slot machine. And why does that work? Because your brain inherently loves uncertainty. If you won a jackpot every single time you pulled a slot lever, you'd honestly get bored in like 5 minutes. But because you might win, or, in app terms, you might see a hilarious viral video, get a new notification, or an exciting text, your brain releases this massive spike of dopamine every single time you do that swiping action.
Seriously, just look at the similarities here. It's wild. A literal slot machine on one side and your smartphone on the other. It's the exact same underlying mechanism. That dopamine-driven intermittent reinforcement that causes real-life gambling addictions? Yeah, it's secretly powering the very apps you check first thing every morning. These tech giants didn't build communications platforms, folks. They built slot machines.
All right, let's get into Section 2, Phantom Notifications and Feedback Loops. Keeping you hooked on that swiping motion is just step one. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how these apps exploit our deep biological fear of social exclusion. Have you ever felt your phone buzz in your pocket, reached in to grab it, and then realized absolutely no one texted you? Crazy, right? Well, that isn't just some quirky glitch in your brain. It's an actual, documented psychological phenomenon called phantom vibration syndrome. These platforms have effectively turned our phones into a phantom limb. You are so biologically conditioned to wait for that tiny hit of social validation that your nervous system is literally hallucinating it.
Let's walk through exactly how they manufacture this toxic dependency. Step 1. They deliberately delay your notifications. They don't just ping you the second they happen. Oh no. Instead, they move to step 2, which is creating anxiety. By holding back that info, they build up this subconscious anticipation. Then comes step 3, delivering the red badge. And get this, the algorithm is so advanced that it predicts the exact moment you're getting bored and are about to close the app, and bam, it hits you with a batched cluster of notifications. Finally, step 4, you get that temporary relief by clearing the red badge. They literally invent the anxiety just so they can sell you the cure. Unbelievable, right?
Moving into Section 3, the manufactured outrage and rage bait.
Okay, so to maximize your screen time, the algorithm has to manipulate human emotion, fundamentally altering how we interact with the world around us. Just notice this massive gap in engagement here. Joyful content, it gets a relatively low reaction, but outrage and rage bait, totally skyrocketing. The algorithms figured out a really fascinating, albeit super dark truth about human nature. Outrage drives significantly more comments, more shares, and way more arguments than happiness ever could. Think about it. If a post makes you smile, you'll probably just double tap to like it and move on. But if a post makes your blood boil, you stop, you engage, you stay glued to the app.
So, the crucial point is, how does this outrage engine actually do its thing? Well, the system intentionally feeds you content that directly contradicts your deepest beliefs. Why? Because it triggers this highly uncomfortable psychological state called cognitive dissonance. It is actively provoking you to jump down into the comment section to argue with total strangers. You genuinely think you're just defending your opinions, your morals, or your worldview, but in reality, you're just giving the algorithm the only thing it actually wants, your time.
Let's slow it down a bit for Section 4, Digital Narcissism and the Mirror Trap. Beyond all the wasted hours and that perfectly manufactured anger, there's a profound hidden psychological toll that these systems take on our very identity. Our brains literally mistake likes on our highly edited highlights for genuine social status. It's crazy. Social media forces us into this unnatural state of constant hyper-awareness about how everyone else perceives us. We're being systematically trained to package our messy, real lives into perfect little squares. And when those highlights get validated through superficial metrics like likes, our brain biologically processes that as real social rank and survival value. It creates a deeply fragmented, fractured sense of self.
And this creates such a dangerous, fragile dependency. It effectively turns us into prisoners of a digital mirror. Think about the exact moment the likes start slowing down on a post you just put up. There's this creeping, subconscious feeling of worthlessness that starts setting in, right? The trap is complete. We end up spending our lives constantly chasing the approval of people we don't even know, just staring into a distorted mirror that only shows us exactly what the algorithm wants us to see.
But honestly, you want to know the most fascinating proof of this massive manipulation? The very tech architects who built these systems, the folks who coded the algorithms, designed that pull to refresh feature, and engineered those anxiety notification loops, they often do not let their own children use them. No way. Recognizing that huge disconnect right there is absolutely the first critical step to taking your own power back.
So, what does this all mean for us? I want to end this explainer with a pretty provocative question for you to chew on. How many hours of your life did you gamble away today? It's time to face reality. I want you to check your screen time right now and drop that number down in the comments below. Let's hold each other accountable here. And hey, if you want to understand how deep these psychological triggers really go, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're constantly breaking down the hidden logic behind human behavior, and you need this kind of info to stay ahead of the game. Stay mindful of your screen, break the loop, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.